Hey, Mark here. I have a really cool giveaway for you. I have five $15 Fandango codes to go see the 2025 film Trust in theaters. If you're interested in going to see the movie in theaters, shoot me a message and be like, hey, Mark, I would love to win a Fandango code because the movie looks fun. Sophie Turner's cool. I like a thriller. This looks good. So yeah, shoot me a message and let me know if you want to go see Trust in theaters. Sophie Turner delivers a thrilling performance of survival and trust. See it only in theaters on August 22nd. After a scandal, a Hollywood starlet retreats to a remote cabin, but she's not alone. Betrayed by the man she trusted most. She's trapped in a brutal game of survival. She can hide, but she can't run. Get tickets now. Rated R from Republic Pictures, a Paramount Pictures label. Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who might be watching you from inside your home without you knowing it, because he's in there, invisible, with you. It's Niall Moore.
Hey, how's it going, Mark?
Where'd you say that?
I promise you I'm not speaking from the cupboard behind you.
So I know that invisibility technique was used in another episode of Star Trek, and so they had it had been done before. But like with these Baku, it's like they set it up right above their house, this entire thing. And then they're just sauntering around. Like they must be leaving footsteps or tripping. It's the oddest beginning of this film.
This film is a smorgasbord of ideas from Next Generation episodes kind of shoved together in one super episode with
Yeah.
a budget of $70 million to make shiny things go boom. It's you start with, okay, you've got this invisible hide. Yep, they did an episode where that happened. And then the planet's inhabitants thought Picard was a god after they beamed one of them up to the ship and saved his life. And there was this whole thing that Picard had to kind of prove to them he's not a god. There was another one where Data got lost on a primitive planet and kind of went haywire and was befriending a child and stuff. So they kind of did that plot angle. There was the one where Worf's estranged adopted brother was trying to bang some primitive chick and saved their village by transporting them into the holodeck, convincing them that it was their same place and he was taking them somewhere to save them. You know, it was legitimate to save them, like they moved them to a different planet, but that's where that kind of plot element came from. I don't remember people, at least not human people, being invisible and walking around, but there were several episodes where aliens were invisible and walking around on the Enterprise and doing science, so it's a fairly common trope. And then you have the Real Housewives of space getting their facelifts every 20 minutes and displaying real teen angst for someone who is several hundred years old.
Man. Picard gets honeypotted in this movie, Niall.
Like, she's a pretty girl.
They don't team him up with a dude. Like they don't have here's Hank, he'll be your guide. Like they're like, hey, Donna Murphy, multiple Tony winner Donna Murphy, aka Angie, or yeah, just Anij, that's what it is. Yeah. I just read the INJ backwards. Just follow him around and flirt with him, and just like I haven't seen a bald guy in 300 years. And then when she does all that, he's like, no, we can't let these people get taken from this planet. They're not natives, and it's this Federation airspace, and there's 600 of them, and these rings could probably do a lot of good, but dang it, she's cute. Like he becomes very I mean, I know he gets de-aged and they say that he gets more rebellious. Actually, everyone kind of gets kind of horny.
He was, yeah. So it's very much one note. So Worf becomes a teenager with the zits and the stuff. I'm surprised they didn't have his voice start breaking or something. Then you had Troy and Riker who just become really, really horny. And Geordie's eyes grow back for whatever reason, even though he was born with the vision defect. And it's kind of, hey, this magic radiation can also cure the thing you were born with, not just make you younger. And then they kind of forget about that in the next movie, and the spect wore off. So your eyes then went and ungrew.
That's what I was wondering about. They're fixed. So if you go onto this planet and you are bald, but when you get onto this planet, it reawakens your scalp and you grow just the thickest head of hair. If you leave the planet, does it just disappear?
I That's what's not clear. See,
Okay.
this planet is basically the fountain of youth, and I would think it would become a galactic tourist destination. Oh, are you feeling a little bit over the hill? Go spend a week on our spa on the Baku planet. Take 10 years off your life.
Yeah. Like, you wouldn't need hospitals anymore, presumably, because you could just
No,
send them to this planet.
yeah, it's a severely overpowered trait, being able to heal. And you don't even need to be on the planet because Worf or Riker and Troy were getting horny even when they were kind of on the way, never mind at the planet.
So you don't need to harvest the rings. Just say, hey, come to this planet. We will govern it, specific ships at a time. Well, you can park near it and you can just get super horny. Or you can hair
Yeah,
could go back. You might get zits, but you know what? Try it. Like it's such an odd role. And the more I research it, and the more I research this, I know Michael Piller was originally supposed to write the draft, but he went through so many variations of it, and there were so many people involved. And then Patrick Stewart had a major say in it, and then the studios had a major say in it, and then they brought somebody else in, and then they brought him back, and then it was so many
it's
cooks in the kitchen.
it's a mess of ideas.
And that's what happened with some of the Shatner films, where you just repeat this. What's interesting? They had an interesting movie, but then it just got watered down into a long episode of Star Trek. And I was on Deep Blue Sea, the podcast, the other day. We had a guest Matthew Stewart, who has Star Trek tattoos on his all over, all over his off, like on him, tattoos on him. He has a bunch of swag, a bunch of Star Trek stuff. He said, like, he was really amazed that I've never watched him before, and he was almost jealous of me. But he said the same thing you did. He's like, it's just 2 episodes of Star Trek, and it blows my mind. Like, these people are immortal, but when they're hiking to the caves, they're all hoofing. They're all tired. It's like, no, everyone.
Just because you're immortal doesn't mean you do cardio every day. In fact, you don't need to because the planet fixes you.
Oh yeah, well, but shouldn't they be in tip-top shape then? I mean, if this thing can cure disease, then it can really make you.
Well, it can make you healthy, but you still need to build up your cardio, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I guess you can just get lazy. But it's such an odd thing. They just fell on this planet, and then they're like, yeah, we're not leaving, even though we have the technology. We're just gonna live this lifestyle, and we kicked these other jabronis out. Now they're stretching their skin, played by the guy from Amadeus, F. Murray Abraham.
Yeah, he's a bad guy. He killed Mozart.
and they're man, this is one of my least favorite Star Trek films by a mile.
That meets the consensus seen online as well, that it is one of the weaker ones in the franchise for sure.
But it has pretty good ratings, so I just don't understand that, because I don't know. It's like, what are your thoughts about this one? Are you a fan of this one?
It's one of my least favorites as well. It just like I said before, it feels like an episode of the TV show where you have planet of the week, antagonist of the week, woman of the week. Usually it's Riker who gets to go and have a little fun there, but this time Picard got to spread some oats. And good for him.
Oh, really? So Riker's the one who gets to have some fun, and not.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Picard's
Riker
not out there
was,
slanging it all over the universe. He's not doing that.
Well, he did pretty well. He he was having a go with Famke Janssen in a very early role from her in one of the episodes. She showed up. There were a few other love interests, but mostly Picard was more highbrow. It wasn't like Riker, who you would regularly see every time there's a new female alien on board. He'd be like, right, I'm going to try and sleep with her.
I like Riker. He's getting in it too with oh gosh, why did I forget her name?
Marina Sirtis.
Yeah, Marina Sirtis. They're all about it. Deanna Troi. They're all about it in this, and their commentary is funny together. But it gives you nothing about the movie. She said she watched the movie and remembered nothing from it. So she goes, I don't remember any of this. Oh, I remember that. And then he's just kind of yelling about how she doesn't remember things for an hour and
It's
40
really
minutes.
it's really odd hearing her talk off camera because she has a very specific inflection when she's playing Troy, where she's got a thick British accent when she's actually talking. And if you hear her talk, I'm like, oh, I did not expect her to sound that British when you hear her give interviews and things.
Okay, quick question for you. How strong is Data?
Um, as strong as the writers want him to be.
He lifts up a rock that, I mean, it's got to be 1,000 pounds, right? I broke up my patio and it was very thick concrete into pretty big chunks. And carrying one of those was at least 100 pounds. And then I broke them up into further pieces, but the big chunks were really heavy. And this rock, so he could, based on this, he could just pop people's heads off their.
Oh yes,
Okay,
yeah, he definitely can do that. I
like
don't think they ever went R-rated and had him do it, but maybe in the new seasons in Picard when
like
they might have done. But
the Borg. If you just gave him you know, a blade or something, he could kill all those Borg quite easily. Correct?
yes,
So in First Contact, when they drag him out by his feet, that's not really
that's
in the moment.
not not the best writing,
Okay. All right. Because he's just
because
chucking people.
yeah, his strength is supposedly multiple times of human strength. He's an android that's supposed to be super strong.
Okay. And also, F. Murray Abraham, his captain's chair on a 1 to 10, how amazing is it?
It's comfortable. It's
It's like a couch.
it's a date. It's, you can perch and you could fit your bowl of grapes next to you where you could just pick at a grape and I think Denethor would like it actually from Lord of the Rings. I could picture him eating tomatoes very messily while sitting on that chair.
Oh, please don't remind me of that scene. That's one of the grossest eating scenes in the history of cinema. Purposely, of course. It's right up there with what Dennis Quaid in The Substance eating the shrimp or prawns or whatever those are. That was
I
horrifying.
haven't seen that yet.
Oh, great movie, but the juiciest, grossest eating. And it reminded me of Lord of the Rings. But yeah,
Well,
this
that was
is
a particular. You can tell that Jackson got his start in horror from
yeah,
some of those scenes.
just oh man, just the eating. That'll never leave me. That's just one of the grossest scenes ever. But yeah, I mean, when I first watched this film, I thought it was pretty cute. He meets the people. They need some vinaigrette because they're munching on the plants, and there's some
Again,
no wait some balsamic
that's
vinaigrette.
a very that's very much a before the credits scene setting of a Next Generation episode. You
Oh
can you
really?
can you can almost see the seeds that this has come from someone who's worked on a lot of Star Trek.
Oh okay.
The formula is there. Is that you'll have some kind of thing that's going on the ship. So the crew are being the crew, and then there will be something that happens that kicks off whatever the story is. So in this case, it was okay. Oh, we have to. I have to learn the greeting, and oh, they're eating the chrysanthemums. Ha 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 ha! How wonderful! And
You
then
have a fat neck.
You have this message from the badmiral.
The
Yeah,
badmiral.
that's another Star Trek trope that comes up quite a lot, that the Admiralty tend to be a little bit corrupt or
Oh.
Doherty. I don't know if he was actually evil or just really naive.
Yeah, because he gets played by the skin rippers, the
He
skin
does,
stretchers. But it is F. Murray Abraham. He'll get in people's heads.
and he was good.
Yeah.
Um,
No, he loved playing
Rafu
the role.
as a villain, he got to chew a lot of scenery.
I mean,
As is typical for Star Trek villains, there tends to be fairly meaty dialogue for the villains. It can be fairly over the top.
you know what's annoying about this episode though, where it could have just been a rogue group of people trying to take this planet. But the insane thing is this is a big planet, correct?
I guess.
Couldn't they
They
like
don't they don't they rarely specify these things, but the majority of the planets they go to are about the size of Earth, have about the gravity of Earth. So
call me
if there are
insane?
only 600 people there, You could probably share.
Because they it's a blood feud, this movie, and so the two
Which
factions
you
went to
don't really
war.
find out until way, way later. It starts off as the way Michael Piller told it, he wanted to do Heart of Darkness meets the Magnificent Seven, which that was kind of Data being, the guy they're trying to find who's kind of gone off the rails a little bit, and they're going up the river to find him. And then once they find him, they realize, hey, everything is messed up. Now we need to save these people. So we put the gang together, and now we're the Magnificent Seven, and we're going to go and do some actioning. And it just doesn't really work.
No,
And I
no.
think they kind of had to abandon that as a concept. But there are still elements to the structure of that narrative direction, I guess, where it starts off as this thing where, okay, you've got the guy, then he needs to be rescued. And who did it better, Simpsons or Star Trek Insurrection, the HMS Pinafore?
I don't know. I'm not really a Simpsons guy, so I don't know. And I wasn't a
Oh,
Star Trek guy until we started. So
well,
yeah.
there's an episode of The Simpsons where Bart, in order to kill time with Sideshow Bob, manages to get him to sing the score to the HMS Pinafore. So it seems that if you're ever in trouble with someone, perhaps you should just start singing Gilbert and Sullivan, and they will join in and be distracted from whatever they're doing.
I think I remember that episode when he's trying to kill him. Actually,
Yeah,
that's an older one.
yeah, that's Cape Fear.
I'm sorry. I wasn't familiar with all the new crew, so I didn't know who you were talking about.
And again, they've another thing they've done. They contrived to have Worf happen to be there, even though he was very much not in the crew. But it's like, oh, hey, Worf, you're here. Oh, yes, it would be very good if you came with us on this trip, completely the wrong direction for where you have to get back to your work. Because
Okay.
we need you. And we're not going to talk about all the things that have been happening to you in DS9 and which you've been a regular for 3 seasons now, and a lot of stuff has happened since you left, but we're not going to mention any of those.
You, okay. Quick question for you. With the Baku, are they right? Like they sent these people away, but they're on a planet. Could the I mean, with an orbit, it probably orbits, so they could have just sent the other group to another area, correct?
That they could have.
And then
Would the other
also,
group have been happy to stay at this other area?
I mean, if they can use technology, I mean, if you're on one side of the planet and the other groups on the other side's using technology, I guess.
Yes, that would have been a more rational approach
And also,
where you say, hey guys, we don't want to use technology in our little village here. It's a big planet.
and also, the face stretchers. I know they have technical names, but I just really like calling them the face stretchers. So it's the Soria, but I think wait, no, the Sona. I They had ships. They could have just gone and removed all these people themselves because no one
So
really knew they
the
were
the
there.
reason they couldn't remove them was theoretically because the planet was in Federation space. So technically they had to kind of follow the Federation's rules, and Federation thought they were a primitive race, so they have rules, you can't interfere, blah blah blah, etc. When
Got it.
really they knew all along that they were just like, look, these guys exiled us. We're going to go in and mess with them. And, we're going to do whatever it takes.
Like, how are they exiled? There's really no
Um,
weapon. Hey guys, leave.
yeah.
No, I'm going to the next city. Like, we'll move. I mean, I guess inbreeding is going to be a problem because if there's
Yeah.
only
Depending
600
on,
out,
but you don't need to breed if you're all immortal.
but they have a decent amount of kids,
They do.
and then those kids will have kids. So I think the gene pool's getting pretty shallow. But if you're immortal, that doesn't really matter, right? On this planet,
Yeah.
because oh, so you just this is some really interesting questions raised by this planet. So it doesn't really matter if there's inbreeding because the planet will just sort them
The
out.
planet will fix it, I guess. If you can get them to old enough that the radiation starts to affect them,
Yeah, and
seemingly.
because yeah, the kids don't get hit until they're a certain age.
Yeah.
That'd be funny if the planet waited to like 70. and then it,
And then you start reverse aging.
or no,
Benjamin,
like Benjamin
maybe
Benjamin
Benjamin
Button.
Buttons from there.
Yeah, you just go back and forth. And you're like, geez, Louise, I'll see you in a few years. Like I'll see you in you're like
I
eight.
need to go and age myself up for a few years. I'm going you go to the club and they're like, oh sorry, you must look at least this old to enter. It's like, okay, I'm gonna leave for like 5 years and come back.
Listen, guys, I'm 300 years old. Yeah, but you look 13. What is
It's
happening
not
here?
look, it's not good for the vibe. I know look, I know you've been in here a few times and it was great, but it's just not good for the vibe.
Go take a walk. I guess you can drink as much as you want. You can party.
Um,
Like I know why the Baku don't want to leave.
yeah, if you live in the land of no consequences, at least health wise.
Is this planet ever mentioned again? Because
No,
it
because
could
that would be stupid.
it could legitimately cure anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you think maybe the Borg would blow it up or the Klingons would blow it up?
Um, well, yeah, the Klingons, they would enjoy the properties of it as they would
Yeah,
be
that's
more
true.
likely they would be more likely to try and capture it and annex it rather than to blow it up.
Like if you're Starfleet, if you're part of this USS Enterprise or any of the any of the ships, if you were a captain and you knew you had a sick family, I would just go there. Couldn't you just,
Yeah,
hey, let's take
you would set up a fleet of medical transports. Just everyone who's ill, it's like, right, we're putting you on the next transport to the magic planet. It will sort you right out.
yeah, just send them there. But so this planet's never mentioned again.
They might bring it up in Discovery or something, but I didn't watch all of those. It's the only Star Trek I didn't watch all of the episodes of. I just couldn't get through it.
So why does it de-age you? Like, why do you get zits on this planet? Like, if you're near it, why do you get zits?
Mumbo jumbo.
Sorry, it's funny.
It's techno babble.
Yeah,
Meta was it metaphasic radiation was in extreme flux or something, and it was causing your DNA to rewrite itself to a younger state or some nonsense.
yeah. This is a strange planet that could could solve everything.
Yes, and it
Interesting.
it doesn't seem
Far away?
like there's a limit to what it can do because
Yeah.
if you just have to be on the planet, it's not like, oh, there's a limited amount of radiation or whatever. If it's just being there, are you using up some of its power or is it constantly regenerating? Is it a finite resource, say like oil, or is it? And this is actually a thing that Michael Piller said in when he was talking about it, is that he wanted this planet to be like something people might go to war over. So, and he even name checked the US government. It's like maybe the US government would go to war to claim the oil there or something.
Yeah. They would.
Um,
Like I think the people, the Romulans, the Klingons, the humans, they would find a way to mess this up.
oh yeah.
But at
If all
least
the major powers knew the power of this thing, they
mhm.
would be fighting over it.
So is it and but enough people know about it because the orders came from pretty up high from the badmiral. So
I don't know if how many people they told about the powers though,
oh, okay.
because Picard was talking to Anij and being like, "Hey, you're awfully hot for a 300-year-old," but we don't know how many people they actually told, saying, "Hey, by the way, this planet makes you young."
If I was part of the Enterprise, I'd be like, hey, let's go to this planet. Let's just orbit around it for a day. Why?
Well, Picard's going to go use his holiday allowance
Oh yeah.
to go back and hang out with Anij for another 318 days.
That would explain Picard pretty well. the TV show later on. They're like, why are you so spry? And they could
Oh
just say the
well,
planet. No,
yeah. I take regular trips back to. Do you remember that planet?
yeah, let's go back there real quick. Like that's, I mean, that's a pretty
Yeah,
good ace card right there.
my arthritis is playing up. Let's just nip back to that planet for a couple of weeks. We'll sort it right out.
Yeah, whenever my back hurts, I'll just go,
Yeah,
I'll go cure that. But
yeah.
it's,
Some people go to a chiropractor. Picard just goes to his little magic planet getaway.
oh man. And I want to see what you think. Patrick Stewart said that if he not Captain Picard was in charge, he would have made the Baku leave. What would you do if you were the captain?
It's so Picard is very much an insert for almost the ideals of Star Trek as Gene Roddenberry kind of saw them, where you have this there is absolute good and bad. And so Pillar had said he didn't like where Star Trek was going at that point. In things like Deep Space Nine and Voyager, there were a lot of shades of gray. And, it made for more interesting storytelling. And Deep Space Nine was the first one to do proper serialized storytelling. Ronald D. Moore and who else was it? They went on to do Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, oh yeah. A lot of gray
Um,
there.
and that was kind of something they were trying to do on Deep Space Nine and weren't able to kind of do for their to the full extent they wanted to, and they really did get to with Galactica, which is an awesome show. Might rewatch that. Um, these people are fairly reasonable, but I don't. It's hard to say. We don't have any tangible knowledge of what the benefits are of harvesting this thing versus just using this planet as a clinic.
Yeah,
And I think using the planet as a clinic is probably a more sustainable long-term solution.
I agree. And the world would mess it up. So I guess it's good, but it's just crazy to introduce such a trump card and then never go back to it. Like,
Yes.
you know how good at hacky sack you'll get?
Well, those other guys, they had great mental strength, probably
How
because they've been playing the same game of hacky sack for 100 years.
how did the Baku not notice invisible people? A lot of them walking around their town.
I guess they were careful.
They they built that entire they have an entire watchtower next to their town. Like how does
But if you're invisible, you're invisible.
yeah. And they have no technology. It's just an
So they
odd
didn't really
thing.
notice them.
But there was about
Um,
40 people in there watching them.
yeah, they had their little hut where they were hiding, watching them, and then they were walking around and bumping into them or not.
Would you want to live on that planet?
It's pretty, but
It's
with
like
all the other stuff that's in the Star Trek galaxy, though, I think it's a place you'd like to visit. Maybe
yeah.
go and visit for a couple of weeks.
It's like when you go to Iceland for the beautiful water. Like you soak in the what is it? Not I've been in there. You know in
Like a
Iceland you
volcanic
the springs,
spa.
yeah, the
Yeah.
spas you go. I went in that thing, my skin felt amazing for a month. So that's what I would do. I would just visit, hang out, leave. Because the Baku are kind of boring unless they
Yeah.
get down. But we were watching that
We see no evidence of them getting down. They seem very vanilla.
yeah. And it's just that's an odd choice too. You're trying to save all these people and you're making big speeches, but you only meet one kid who just doesn't like droids and it talks to Data a lot and just kind of a hot lady who's super cool. And then the rest of them are super bland, but we got to save these people. I
She
know.
must have some serious red flags somewhere if she's been living on that planet for 300 years and hasn't got a man,
Yeah.
where nobody can die because they're all functionally immortal. And so either she's driven away each man or nobody likes her.
It just took Picard and his biceps to win her
Picard and
over.
his shiny head.
What do you think about Jonathan Frakes' direction in this film? I know after First Contact, they wanted to have a change of pace. And I know that they were thinking about the success of Star Trek 4 and how kind of lighthearted it was and how much money it made. And I know that First Contact was very serious. There's some good humor in it, but it's also quite heavy. So they wanted to pivot. I guess they didn't want two heavy films in a row.
But I think they didn't pivot hard enough.
No. Yeah.
Star Trek 4 was almost a complete departure from the heavier stuff that we'd had before. And it really nailed that fish out of water humor.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this one, it felt too familiar. And I think that's why it failed. It was not interesting enough for general audiences. As a sci-fi flick, it's kind of mediocre. And then for a Star Trek fan, I'm sure I already listed at the start of the recording the episodes that it's ripped off. It's ripped off multiple episodes. So we've already seen basically this story or various chunks of it in Star Trek with these characters. And it's like, okay, right. I've seen this. It's familiar. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Last question for you. I have more. Actually, I'll probably have more, but why don't the Sona just go to the other side of the planet so they don't have to stretch their skins?
Because they're idiots.
I know they haven't figured out because it hasn't happened in the movie, but I don't even think if you can land right next to the Baku and be invisible and they don't know you're there, you can just go the other side
If
of
you
the
can
planet.
land an invisible ship in the lake next to them, I think it's fairly easy to just land on the other side of the planet when they have no technology to detect you.
Right? I know it's a revenge mission. They're pissed at these people. So, okay, it's a revenge mission. They want to get them off and they want to do it without genocide. But I don't know. It's just an odd movie. I'm telling you, the more you read, I read a lot about this and I listened to so many interviews and so many video essays about this film. Once again, between like Picard and all the script he writes and everything that Pillard had to go through in the book that he wrote that wasn't allowed to come out, this thing really became just like a Frank. It really is just a Frankenstein thing that kind of it's so it's an odd Star Trek. The Star Trek movie franchise is endlessly fascinating. Niall, they make
Just
this
because of the stupid missteps every
yeah,
time, like clockwork.
and they don't learn. It's crazy. They're just
And we
no,
see it every single time.
isn't that like
Every time they turn in the right direction, they immediately follow it by doing something stupid.
Star Trek in the darkness, right? Star Trek, then Star Trek in the darkness. It's
Exactly.
it's crazy. I don't. Is it cursed? Is it what? And apparently
I
they had a budget
well,
on this.
I don't know what they're doing in Paramount these days anyway. They seem to be making all sorts of stupid. I just watched the latest misstep in Star Trek, which is hilariously bad. I think it in fact puts all the other Star Trek movies to shame with how hilariously bad it is.
Oh
The
wow,
Section 31 one. It is just awful.
great. It has a good
Um,
cast.
yeah, it's got a good cast. It's got a lousy script, and it is just a very bad movie.
Great. How do they? Well, how do they? I just you make four, and then you make five, and then you make six, and then you make, generations. It's just a crazy. Like the egos in this. Like I know that Patrick Stewart got heavily involved in this one, so I
And
kind of
the
feel
next, yeah, there's a lot of Patrick Stewart wanting to do Patrick Stewart things. He kind of wanted to build his own action mythos, I guess, where having Picard do the more actiony things because in the show for 7 years it was Riker who was getting all the action. Picard was very much the dude in the chair, just saying, "Oh yes, number one, very well done."
so in these movies, he wanted to be the hero,
Yeah, he
and
wanted to be the hero. He's the captain. He wants to be the guy who's saving the day.
oh, man. And in the commentary, they made fun of him too for having the producer credit. Was he had a how do you get a producer credit? Like I know Frakes just being an idiot, and like he's very. I really like Frakes in the commentary, but he gives you nothing good about the movie. There's just a lot
Frakes
of pithy
Frakes is
comments.
just I'm sure Frakes is just sitting there drinking beers and just
Ah,
just talking nonsense. I'm like, oh man, yeah, I remember this film. Oh, there was this thing. Oh, actually, forget that. Oh, there you are, Marina.
it was so funny though. How did he get a producer credit? And I don't know if he took a shot at him. Now, I've no, I don't want to bring it up, but you kind of wonder how well they get along outside of this thing with Patrick Stewart being like, no, I have like full on. Well, I guess Frakes is directing it, so he's happy.
Apparently, the next gen crew all still get on pretty well.
Okay.
There's an anecdote from season 1 where they were all just ripping Stewart because he was taking things far too seriously as a Shakespearean actor, and he was giving it all and being super disciplined and everything, and all the rest of them were just having a bit of fun on the sets, etc. And they basically had to get Stewart to lighten up. And once he did, they kind of bonded, and they all still get on really, really well.
Okay, good. Because
Unlike the original cast, it was mostly, in fact, I think the ones who aren't Shatner get on well with each other, but
but
I
it's
don't think any of them still get on with Shatner.
I mean, I know we haven't talked about the Briar Patch or Riker's maneuver, which is fine. I don't know. This is a this
And
is
Riker getting to fly the ship with a little joystick. That
are there
was
Star Trek the motion picture, at least there's some pretty cool visuals. It's glacially paced and not really a Star Trek film, but it looks great. So there's that. And I think
well, this one, I think a lot of the money went to building the sets. They
yeah,
built the entire town somewhere in Northern California.
and the cast got paid more. So when you hear about the budget of this film, it's big, it's 70 million. But I know for a fact that a lot of that, not a lot of it, but a big chunk of it went to the cast. So even though it's 70 million, they got paid a lot more. So
Which you don't begrudge them.
no, they deserve it. But I think when people say, oh, this is expensive, it's like, I think just the cast earned the money. And yeah, and I think a lot of the budget went to shooting on location because, it's all visual effects. They didn't use ILM on this one. The visual effects are pretty good. I like some of the shots, but there's nothing stand out from this. I think the best Star Trek movies, there's always a scene that's incredible. Or even in the bad one, there's the bean scene in 5. Like there's the row your boat. There's like moments of personality to the movies. I don't think this one
In
really has a
in
personality.
this, there were various little scenes that were almost relying too much on prior knowledge, the little things that were put in, so that they don't hit unless you already know about the backstory. So all the Riker Troy romance stuff. If you haven't watched the show, you don't know they had like quite a long romance history, and there's a whole backstory there. So them kind of becoming romantic again, that makes sense.
Mm, because of
They're
the de-aging. They're getting horny.
Yeah, yeah, and it's bringing them back to a previous time in their life when they were dating, I guess. So you don't really not there aren't those moments where it hits because it's a good moment. There are moments when it's saying, "Hey, we're referencing that. Do you remember that?" Maybe you do. Okay,
Oh.
here's a little subtle thing. And then there was other stupid stuff, like for one scene, Worf apparently was carrying a bazooka.
Yeah, he was. I have that in my notes. Bazooka with eight exclamation points. I was like,
It was
yeah.
I was rewatching that scene today, and I had to stop. Where did Worf get the bloody bazooka? Did he just decide, okay, I'm going on this little mission. I definitely need to pack my bazooka.
It's like the Boondock Saints who bring rope to things. Like, why are you bringing rope?
Yes,
But he's like, yeah, I'm bringing my bazooka. I need my rocket launcher.
just
That
in
scene is
case.
great. I love that. And those drones aren't too tough. They're getting lit up. But what's interesting about this movie? You've known me for a long time. I think 17 years now.
Is it that long? God.
Yeah, '08. And so for me, I don't, and I moved out to Korea in February. So yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably
So
17 years. That's quite an innings.
geez Louise. I still remember when we first met at the bar, we played darts and then you got me to play soccer. So I remember that because you needed someone to take your spot, I think. You're like, yeah, I'll play, but you should play goalie. I'm like, all right. But I
Yeah, I was sick of playing goalie.
so you were like, Mark, you show up. And but you've never heard me ask the questions that I am from a movie before. You and I have been podcasting for years. We talked a lot about movies. This movie makes you ask bad questions because you're going, why don't they just take the anti-cloaking teleporting things with them? Why do they leave them in one spot if they're going to get shot like anyway? Why I because they're not like why don't they go here? Why don't they go there? Now, a lot of movies it gets annoying. Like, why would that happen? Why would, there is a suspension of disbelief, and you need to have a
And
suspension of disbelief.
you
But
can
this
accept that.
and like this movie though, there's so many questions that I was asking throughout that I never asked through other movies because my suspension of disbelief, I just didn't have it.
It's
I remember.
because you're used to competence in the Star Trek universe. And all of a sudden you're presented with this glowing example of complete incompetence.
Yeah. And so I don't want people thinking that I watch every movie and go, that's stupid. Why is an android from the future coming back to kill a lady from the past? Like, no, I'm not doing that. I just this movie has so many questions that aren't that just they haven't.
And that's part of how higgledy piggledy the writing process was,
Mhm. It comes
where
down to that.
you've done however many drafts and you've kind of shown it to Ira Bear, who was the showrunner of Deep Space Nine at the time, and he's come back and said, "No, this is crap."
Yeah.
And then you've reworked it again, and then you've gone to Picard and been like, "So oh, it's not bad, but I want Picard to do this, this, and this." So you kind of work that in, and then probably goes another couple of times to Berman and the other producers and takes some notes and then reworks it again, and then before you know it, you're shooting.
With a script that is just all notes. And yeah,
And the thing about the shoot itself, it's quite well shot.
yeah, because they had money and time.
And they put a lot of work, particularly into the village thing. They built these little models of the village and they storyboarded their camera pans through the models of the village. So they had all of these, even down to the camera movement set up on the models before they built the real thing. So the camera crews already knew, okay, we're going to be doing this shot. We've got our reference from the model. The construction workers knew which bits of the buildings were going to be in shot and out of shot, so they were able to kind of cut some corners there. It's quite technically well done in terms of the actual work that went into it. It's just a shame that the writing didn't really give them a lot to work with.
Absolutely. And I think you're right too. They remember in was it five how many they had to change everything because they had no budget and had to keep doing rewrites while they were shooting. I don't think there was much of that on this film.
No, I
Like you
think
said,
it
they had
was
everything planned
completed,
out. It was just the
but
script.
it just wasn't particularly engrossing.
Yeah. So they went into this one. So they learned some lessons, but they just it was too much of a Frankenstein script and it just failed from there.
Yeah, I think so. I think that is the crux of it. That the script just was not. It would have been a middle of the road two-parter episode that would probably not be, in the top 10, 20
Yeah.
episodes, but it would probably also not be anywhere near down the bottom in terms of episodes either. It would be a fairly middle of the road two-parter, and it would be talked about a lot more fun and be like, oh yeah, that's the one they went to that Fountain of Youth planet. Oh yeah, that was all right.
Yeah. And then we have yeah. I don't know. I mean, everyone's good. It's just an odd one. I don't. This one it went from being cute in my head to just going nah. Like I don't know if I dig this. So okay. Do you think we can do something? I want to do a kind of few versus many draft. Do you think you could figure like so there's what 13th Warrior, 7th Samurai, Magnificent Seven, or is that too obscure?
It's a little obscure to
Okay,
put
so
me on the spot to do it.
what should we do a draft for this? So it's
Mm.
What about sequels that aren't horrible but aren't great? That's an
Okay,
interesting
so
one.
last time out we did sequels that were good,
Yeah.
but maybe not quite as good as the originals. So,
Oh, we already did that.
or that was a while ago.
Yeah, that was a while ago. Do you want to do that? Or no, you just want to leave it without a draft?
I'd say we can leave it.
Okay.
It's
I don't know, because this one's odd. It's not great. It's not terrible, but I think of all the
it's
episodes we've done, this is the most questions I've had for you because even five makes some sense because oh, this dude has a cult and he wants to go meet God and he's wrong. That's pretty simple, and so you get it. There's a lot of weird decisions made along the way, but you get it. This one just has way too many things going on, so I don't know.
it's one of those where I'm sure because when we talked about Star Trek, the motion picture, there's a core of a an hour and a half long movie in there somewhere in that two and a
Yeah,
half hour long um 2001 ripoff. This is already it's what an hour 37, an hour 40. It's not that long. If you cut out much of it, you can almost have it down to a single 1 hour episode of TV if you cut out some of the
yeah,
superfluous stuff. And the idea of the banished children coming back to avenge themselves on the elders, I don't hate that. That's
no.
a pretty cool concept.
Or like a sick Starfleet captain who's
Yeah.
just like, hey, my family's sick. I need to get on this planet. But if you do this, you will let the rest of the world know that this planet exists and there could be war because everyone wants this. Like there's some interesting things you could do.
Yeah, for sure. They just didn't choose any of them.
Oh man. Oh well, hey,
And it's a shame because you had F. Murray Abraham as a villain, and he does a decent job. He's villainous.
yeah, he's stretched skin. He's I don't know why they just don't go back to the planet on the other side because they have spaceships.
It's it's like a Tatooine syndrome where you've got this giant desert planet, but everything only happens within one small area of desert.
Yeah, there's nothing outside of there. There we go. Until you get to Timothy Oliphant, that's pretty good.
Yes,
Yeah, until you get to him, but that's still just another town that's close to all the other
that's
towns.
close by to all the other little towns. It's
Like it,
I wonder what goes on the other side of Tatooine.
it's like that's why I like Dune. Like we don't go to that other side because of the storms. You don't play in that area, so that's why we stay here. It's like okay, cool.
And that makes logical sense within the constraints of the movie.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they go over there, but at least people are like, yeah, it's really hard to get over there. Like, just don't mess with that area.
It's not worth our while to go there because it's
Or King Kong, yeah, yeah, don't go in there. Stay here. Trust us. Like, don't go in there. But this one, the planet seems pretty chill. There's no monsters. I don't think there's any bear. There's no sea creatures. It's just a chill planet. Interesting. Do you think maybe I don't know. All right. Final thoughts, Niall. I'm going down such a rabbit hole with this movie.
it keeps the trope of the odd numbered Star Trek films alive,
Yeah, it
of
does.
being weaker than the even numbered ones. Though
Quick
that
question:
finally dies with the next one.
Nemesis. Does it have A to B to C story?
Nemesis is story wise, it's reasonably straightforward. It's just there are some narrative choices that are a bit weird.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. This is the last. Well, so I haven't watched the brand new one that just came out, but Nemesis is the one I have not watched. So I will be done with all of my original Star Trek films.
Well, you get to see a very young Tom Hardy.
Oh man, I love it. Just Picard did not, or I mean, Patrick Stewart was not a fan of his. So that's interesting. So Nemesis. Oh wait, 38, 6.4 on IMDb. Wow, I'm excited. I'm very excited. Well, hey, anything else you want to talk about in this film?
No, I'm glad I've got through it, to be
Yeah,
honest.
me too. Jeez Louise. And I'm glad it's short. To its credit, it's short. So that's nice. That's when that's the compliment you have to give a movie. You know you're in trouble, but whatever. All right. Well, thank you for joining me, Niall. Well, for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Niall Morris, Movies Fizzle Flicks. We'll see you next week.